The grand mansion glittered with gold that evening. Crystal chandeliers hung high above the ballroom, marble floors reflected every shimmer of light, and guests in elegant gowns and tuxedos mingled with glasses of champagne in their hands. It was Mr. Whitmore's annual gala, a night for the wealthy to showcase not only their fortunes but their pride. Near the corner of the hall stood a grand piano, polished so perfectly it gleamed like a mirror. Guests admired it as though it were more art than instrument. No one dared touch it, for Mr. Whitmore, the host, was known for his arrogance. Everything in his mansion was meant for admiration, not use. Among the staff serving that night was Daniel, a 14-year-old orphan brought in by the caterers to help clean and carry trays. His clothes were modest, his shoes worn, and though he tried to keep his head down, his eyes kept drifting toward the piano. Music was Daniel's secret escape. Back at the orphanage, he played an old broken keyboard whenever he could. He had never touched a piano this fine, but in his heart he longed to feel its keys. As the night wore on, Daniel found himself standing near the instrument, staring in awe. His fingers twitched with temptation. He placed his tray down and, after glancing around nervously, lifted the cover from the keys. His hand hovered above them, trembling. "Don't touch that piano." The words cracked through the hall like a whip. Mr. Whitmore strode over, his face red with fury, his voice loud enough to draw every eye. "Do you think this is a street corner for beggars? This instrument is worth more than you'll ever make in your life." Guests laughed, some covering their mouths, others smirking openly. Daniel's cheeks burned. He stammered, I wasn't going to," but Whitmore sneered, cutting him off. "Back to your work, boy. Leave the music to people who belong here." Daniel lowered his gaze, ashamed, ready to retreat. But just then, a calm voice rose from the crowd. "Let him play," the hall stilled. It was Lady Harrington, the evening's guest of honor. Respected across the city for her philanthropy, her opinion carried weight. She stepped forward, her eyes kind but firm. "If the boy has music in his heart, let us hear it. Or are you afraid his song will outshine your wealth, Mr. Whitmore?" Gasps and murmurs rippled through the guests. Whitmore stiffened, his pride pricked, but he couldn't openly defy her. With a forced laugh, he waved a hand. "Very well. Let the boy embarrass himself. A little entertainment, then." Daniel's heart pounded as he sat on the piano bench. His hand shook, but when his fingers touched the keys, everything else faded. The laughter, the whispers, the chandelier's glow. He began to play. The first notes were soft, hesitant, but then the melody blossomed, rich and full, weaving through the hall like a voice long silenced, finally set free. His music carried sorrow and hope, memories of nights alone at the orphanage, of dreams too fragile to speak aloud. Every chord told a story of pain endured and dignity preserved. The laughter died. Glasses stilled in midair. Guests leaned forward, their faces softening. Some felt tears prick their eyes as Daniel's song swelled into something bigger than words. Lady Harrington closed her eyes, her lips trembling with emotion. Even the servants paused in awe, their trays forgotten, and when the final note faded into silence, the hall remained breathless. Then the applause came. First soft, then thunderous. Guests rose to their feet, clapping, cheering, some even shouting for more. Daniel sat frozen, his hands still on the keys, tears in his eyes. For the first time in his life, he wasn't invisible. He was seen. Lady Harrington walked forward and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Young man, your music is a gift. Never let anyone tell you that you don't belong." Mr. Whitmore stood pale, humiliated as the very crowd he sought to impress now ignored him, their admiration fixed entirely on the orphan boy he had mocked. That night, Daniel left not as a servant but as a musician. Lady Harrington promised him lessons, opportunities, a chance to turn his gift into a future. And as he walked away from the glittering hall in his worn shoes, Daniel smiled to himself. The world had mocked his silence, but his music had spoken louder than wealth ever could.